Now, the main reason we're told that we're doing all this gas exploration so we can do all this gas extraction so we can cause all this climate change is because if it wasn't for all the gas, no one would have any jobs. Well, thanks to Mark, you know, that's bullshit. And it's not just thanks to Mark, it's all this, by the way, all the information Mark put up tonight, it's hid on this top secret thing called the internet. And it's pulled together by some pinko lefties at something called the Australian Bureau of Statistics. All right, so, you know, you do your own research, please. But the ABS has done plenty. 0.5% of Australians working in an industry. 0.5%. Oh, okay, but it's not about the jobs. Oh, it's not about the jobs, Rich. It's about all the tax that they don't pay. and it's this pea and thimble trick, right? Oh, sure, we don't pay the royalties, but we pay the PRRT. Okay, maybe we didn't pay the PRRT, but we pay the company tax. Nope, 3 strikes and you're out. Yes, there's royalties that, as Mark said, you know, again, there's this pinko lefty organisation called the Australian Tax Office. Again, and if you've heard of this internet thing, check it out. You can find all the data there, it's hidden on their website. According to the tax office, Exxon, plucky little American startup, has never paid a cent in company tax in Australia. Never paid a cent. Chevron paid $30 a couple of years ago and it topped the charts. Oh, but it's not about that, Richard, it's about the royalties. No, that's what our latest research is showing. 73% of the gas they're exporting, no royalties, none, nada, zip. Not complicated, none. And here we are getting told how essential they are, how we can't live without them, when they're the ones literally destroying the world's oldest art gallery, trying to destroy a culture, literally destroying our climate. It's not for the jobs, and it's not for the tax. So what's it for? Now, Mark said at the beginning, you know, there's no doubt the gas industry have incredible power in Western Australia. As someone that doesn't come from here, I can't profess to understand what it is, what hold, what sway they have. But the one thing they can't do is vote. They can't vote in an election. And they're actually terrified. They're really scared. That's why they waste so much shareholders' money on all these ads lying about the jobs and lying about the tax. They're worried people are going to figure it out. They're worried that people are going to figure out, hang on, we get the destruction, we get the damage to the environment in the short term, we get the loss of Indigenous heritage, we get the climate change, and we get the... No, we don't even get the tax. Now, it's not inevitable that we're going to fix this, but it's not inevitable they're going to keep getting away with this. They don't get away with it in Saudi Arabia, where they pay heaps of tax. They don't get away with it in Qatar, where they pay heaps of tax. They don't get away with it in Norway, where they pay heaps of tax. This is a uniquely Australian phenomena. We're literally giving tax away to companies who are then selling it and making a fortune with your gas. Now, we're not going to fix it tonight. We're not going to leave here and change this tonight. But the only way we're ever going to change it is if we start actually looking at this bizarre situation and feeling the confidence to speak out about it. Feeling the confidence to say, well, what's in it for us? Feeling the confidence to say, as you know, Premier said on radio this morning in response to the shocking revelations that, according to top secret tax office data, most of the gas pays no royalties. The Premier said, well, I'd like to collect more revenue. Well, just shut up there, mate. Just end the sentence. But he went on to say, but I'd like to collect more revenue, but I don't want to make the gas industry mad at me. That's what he said. Might be slightly decoding him there. Well, guess what? He's got to be more afraid of you than he is of them. Because you get to vote and the gas industry don't. And according to our estimates, the research we put out today, if we just applied the average level of royalties to the tax that they're paying nothing for, we collect $9.6 billion a year in extra revenue. $9.6 billion a year in extra revenue. Now, we don't have to all agree on what to spend that on, but I reckon that'd pay for a few teachers, a few nurses. I reckon it'd set up quite a number of centres for women fleeing domestic violence. I reckon we could do a fair bit of tackling climate change. $9.6 billion a year in free gas. But until our body politic can come together and shake this parasite off, it's going to keep taking the gas. It's going to keep causing the harm until we get around to doing something about it. So, you know, as Fiona said, I'm worried about climate change. I'm terrified about, you know, what in 100 years when this building's still here, I don't know what our climate's going to look like. But we know what's going to happen if we don't do something about fossil fuel expansion. And here we are in 2024, still opening new gas projects, still opening new coal mines, still approving them, still subsidising them. Now, Mark said I was going to be entertaining, and I fear I've let you down. But I'm about to change the pace for you. There's so much upside here. The scare campaign from the gas industry, stick with me, this is terrifying. You know what they're threatening? They're threatening that if we make them pay a shit ton of tax, they won't invest anymore. I mean, is that the worst threat in the world? If you make me pay all the tax you want, I'll stop doing the thing you hate. Okay. Sign me up for that. Literally, the gas industry's threat to your premier is if we start making them pay more tax, they might not invest in more projects that will ruin the world. Who gets to think that's a threat? I wish they would promise to do that. But that's up to us. That's up to us to reconceptualize this, because somehow they've managed to convince not you, you're too smart, but that person sitting next to you seems to have fallen for some of this nonsense. Okay, it's not the person sitting next to you, it's the one next to them. But someone must be believing this nonsense. But it's literally that. Okay, we know that most people don't work there. We know they don't pay much tax. And we now know, here's the secret. This is the good news. We now know if we make them pay some tax, they'll stop doing us harm. This is the best deal in the world. You need to grab it. You need to focus on those opportunities, because not only can we spend all that sweet, juicy tax in the short term, we get rid of the parasite in the long term. Thank you very much.